Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Savage Land. And today we kind of have an episode where I'm actually going over What If Marvel Legends Zombie Captain America. But I also picked up these other two figures in the time of me wanting to do a review on Captain America. And I said, let me throw them in because I believe they're kind of like new. They just dropped. So in the background we have DC's DCeased, Green Lantern, and also Aquaman. Now, every time I try to look up where these things came from, and maybe I'll do a little bit more research on it, but it says straight from the source. So I don't know if DC actually has a company that produces these, but I don't know. I was trying to find out who's the maker of them. It's not Mattel or McFarlane or anything like that. It's like another party. But yeah, let's get into the review. And as you can see in the background, I have these DC characters standing up because I don't believe they're trustworthy enough to stand up through a whole review. That's what type of party it is with them. And we'll actually go over those first. And what I'm going to do with these DC, I'm going to go over the good and the bad. I'm going to go over the bad first. So we'll bring Green Lantern up here and Aquaman. And to start off with, the reason why I have them on these stands because, once again, whatever DC does, or whether it's Mattel, whether it's McFarlane, these bad ankle joints, these ball joints, and bad wrist joints along with that, they just really don't invest enough into an ankle rocker, man, or just into their wrist joint, the articulation system with that. I don't know what it is with that, but that's a huge failure on their part because that ball just continues to roll inside that ankle, and it's hard to position when you got an ankle rocker or you got a hinge like with Marvel Legends. You can kind of do what you want to do. It's made for your comfortability. I don't believe they give us comfortability with that whole hinge system with the wrist and the ankle, man. It really sucks, and it makes it hard for him to stand. He's untrustworthy. I probably can get him to stand. Maybe I'll try to, but they fall over. A lot of scenes when I shot my photography had a stand with them, but I just tried to hide it the best way I could. Let's go with Aquaman. As far as their ab crunch, man, it is really hard to, kind of get that to move. It's decent. Like, he goes back okay. Crunches forward okay, but it's just, it's almost primitive in a sense. Just that big ab crunch right there. What if he had an abdominal split right there? You know how much he could move? He's Aquaman. He's supposed to be able to swim, jump, and like go get busy, man. And that's what I think what a lot of action figures need to go to. This abdominal cut where the retro Spider-Man, a lot of Power Rangers figures have it. AEW, Jazzwares, they have that. They don't really go with this traditional ab crunch, man, and it makes it just kind of suck. And with this one, it's like stuck. So it makes it even worse. You got to kind of play with it. They come with no accessories. I mean, this is it. This is what you get in the pack, and for the price of about $30, that kind of turns them into a novelty piece. Was this really meant to be an action figure, or is it a novelty, just something to have? No extra hands, no extra heads. You know how dope these would be if they had extra heads to go with them. Maybe a more deceased looking head, because I don't know too much about DC's DCeased, but some comic book images, well, very few showed them more zombie like. They had a DCeased Dead Planet where it looks like all the superheroes were back regular, but they were going to fight zombie like people. Some of the images I've seen were like Wonder Woman. Batman was more like a zombie type image, but for the most part, their faces were like cut up looking. Like my man Green Lantern is really not a zombie, and it's really a play on Marvel Legends zombie. Every time Marvel does something, DC has to do something. Every time DC does something, Marvel has to do something. It's been going on like that for years. So if they're going up against each other, it's kind of different. With this DCeased, a virus came into the computer through Cyborg, I believe. Which I haven't read the comic book, but I read up a little synopsis about it, and everybody's catching a virus from visually looking at something on the computer. So I get it. It's not like a virus where you're being bitten by something, but more of you like a virus or a disease on a computer jumping into a human body and turning them into crazed, I guess, maniacs. And that's pretty much the storyline. I never really read too much DC. I mean, I don't even know if I want to really read Marvel zombie comic books, but this is a cool figure, so I don't know. But it's definitely the DC line. I don't know about that, man. It's a little far fetched. So far as their paint apps, the paint apps are pretty good. I was gonna say they had bad paint apps because I thought DC was being cheap, and not making them more zombie like. But this is pretty much how they looked in the, I guess, the DCeased storyline, with these lacerated faces. And see, like I said, he's very untrustworthy. It's a shame that I have to go through that just to get him to stand up. And that's my last point on them, man. They can't stand up. But that's the bad on them. Like I said, at the end of the day, they're more like novelty pieces. This Captain America, which I'm gonna start talking about in a bit here, is that's a piece. That's a bad figure right there. But let's go over the good with the DCeased. They got good sculpts, like their faces look good. Try to get that to focus in. So pretty good paint in the hair. Face looks pretty good. I mean, he's just a crazed looking Green Lantern. And Aquaman looks good too. He has more of the snarling, but like I said, they needed more head sculpts with this. But they have good head sculpts. They're big figures. I like how they have that big kind of like robust chest. Like this looks like Aquaman. I like this right. I actually like the schematics of him. Like this classic Aquaman with the green pants and the gold like fish scale like armor. That's dope. I actually wish I had a regular one looks like this, but there's only so much I can do when he has crappy articulation. Like his wrists, like this all right here, this feels really flimsy. Like it feel like it would break if I did too much with it. Same thing with his arms sometimes. Like right here in the elbow part, just feels really flimsy. Now he does have double jointed elbows, which is cool, and double jointed legs. Like I said, it's just not built to perfection. I mean, if they would have took this, I don't know if they could have. I mean, because the price point is already $29. But I mean, if Marvel Legends and a whole bunch of other companies do it, why can't they? I just think they really don't give a crap sometimes. Whoever's over at DC, but these ankles, that's not gonna work. Like I said, overall they're decent toys. If you're in the DC and you want some novelty, if you don't pose around with your action figures, they're cool to stand up, man. They look good. The paint looks good on them. This Green Lantern looks really good. I actually picked up a second one of him just the way he looks. It's a cool novelty piece. I give it that. As far as holding up as an action figure, it won't. It won't. It'll break sometime or another. All DC Essentials. That's what these are. DC Essentials. Same ones that make Bombshell and just a lot of playoff of DC characters made these. And I have a Batman, a new. I don't know if it's New 52 is that DC or whatnot, but the new era Batman, actually McFarlane's about to come out with a blue one like that, and I brought a DC Essential one a couple years back, and yeah, all I can do is really stand that, man. He's a novelty. But hey, let's put these guys in the background because the review is really not about him. Let's celebrate. And let's talk about my man Captain America here. Zombie Cap. I mean, this dude here, I mean, he is freaking beautiful. This is one beautiful action figure right here. Just everything about him is awesome. His double jointed elbows and his body build is so small. Like his elbows really bend in really good, so he can do really good zombie poses. And it's really all about the body frame. He's not big like a regular Captain America because he's a zombie. Pretty much everything living on him is slowly rotting away till he'll become a skeleton, which that's what I want to get into now as far as his head sculpt is awesome. In the light, his eyes kind of shine. They kind of yellow up. Almost like they have a reflection, like they're glowing. He's dope, man. I mean, he has, you can see inside his mouth. I mean, his teeth. They got a little bit of blood running off his chin, the rib cage, and here. And like I say, he's slowly rotting away. He's not gonna be the same Steve Rogers. That's gonna break away in time and start showing rib. I mean, I was looking inside today. They even showed the bone on the inside of his leg, man. And I seen this review from other guys, 2 months ago. Mainly Shartimus Prime, man, when he was like tripping off like the inside of his leg. Now I'm tripping about it in real life, like whoa, this is pretty dope, man. So the sculpt on this thing, man, is top notch. I believe this is the best figure Marvel put out in 2021. I really do. And if you haven't if you're watching this video for the first time, check out my Marvel's Top 10 2021. I had to do it. I couldn't leave Marvel Legends out. I gave them their own top 10, and hate to be the spoiler on that, but this guy was #1. But check it out. He's definitely worth it. He's definitely a great figure. His paint apps, the blood splatter on his stomach, his arm. I mean, and it's almost kind of like a burgundy. It's not like a bright red. In real life, when blood starts to get old, it'll start turning burgundy, orange, and yellow from the plasma separating, and that's pretty much what's going on with him here in this blood splatter. It's got that yellowish look, and plus he's dirty. His body size, like I said, is nice. I mean, he's zombified, so he's losing weight rapidly. And it's any pose you want to do with him, and you can. Like, look at that broke neck pose. Look at that. That man, that is so dope, man. So pretty much his head is like on a ball. Yeah, his head is just on like a ball. But it can move any way you want. It looks so crazy. Like anything you want to do, man, that's like zombied out. Like, look at that. He's like slowly creeping towards you. Man, yo, this thing is fire. So, and pretty much with his clothes, I mean, they went above and beyond with this. This figure is an 11. It's a Concorde. It's an 11. Like, what you know about that, man? Like, look at that. You can see through them. You can see them two bums in the background back there. Oh man, that well, like I said, I don't regret the DCeased figures because I'm a DC guy somewhat, but DC will always do some things where they just hit and miss, like they just don't know how to win. Their bread and butter is Batman. Batman's been strong for decades. He's bigger than Superman to me. Superman had a movie in the 70s, which Superman's always going to be Superman. Don't get it twisted. But he didn't come back out with another movie into the 2000s. Batman's been there. Batman is the go-to for DC. Even that new movie that's coming out, I think that's gonna be pretty good. I like the spin on it. Some people are saying they don't like the way Robert Pattinson look, but hey, there's different iterations and forms of Batman, man. I think he'll do all right with it, man. But yeah, back to Captain America. Like I said, it's just an above and beyond figure. He's A+. I mean, he moves well. I mean, look at that, man. You can do anything. And he's kind of like almost like a soft pliable, like his clothing, the tattered part. And it's good. It feels like that because you would expect a zombie to feel mushy. He doesn't come with much. He's got his shield here. It's pretty good. It's got blood splatter on it, kind of a purple burgundy-ish offset in color. But he doesn't need much. He is the prize in this. And in this little review right here, he is the star. Whatever DC Essentials, DCeased, they ain't messing with this this Captain America zombied out Cap. I mean, he's something else, man. He's something phenomenal. I hope they come out with a whole wave that moves just like this man here. This is the best Marvel Legends in 2021. It beats out a Hydra Stomper, any type of Hulk busting type of looking machine, anything. It even beats out the Sentinel. Why? Because it's a lot cheaper and you can still have the same fun and enjoyment. And I don't have anything against the Sentinel. I have one myself, but this man right here beats him out because you can buy him for $24 and probably keep him longer than that Sentinel. That Sentinel can fall over, break, bust up, whatever. But this is a quality action figure. There's a lot of love put into it. And if you could ever come across one of these, buy one. Hell, buy two. I brought 3 of them out the gate before I even got it because it's just one of them ones that looks good on the render. It looked good when I had it on pre-order and it came and I got it and it was even better. It went past my expectations and fully in hand. This is an A++ figure. It's 11. It's a Concord. This zombied out Cap is dope. But yeah, that's pretty much my review. I just wanted to go over both of these lines. If this is your first time watching my show, like. Put much likes as you can. Comment. I'm always up for a conversation or just to say hey. Sometimes people tell me things that I could do, and I can take constructive criticism, and you know, and move on from there. But like, comment, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and thank you. And we're gonna end this show like we do all of them. When you walk out the door, make sure you're being a person of integrity. Make sure you're doing what you need to do. And until the next time, God bless.